Welcome back to the Matrix. And into the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today, we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. Let's get into it, y'all. As of the time of recording, by the way, if you're following on the Telegram, I wasn't able to do it because of the live stream, but this would be the point where I would have moved stop loss on Ethereum to 3140 if you're following at home. So we didn't have time to do that, so it is what it is. But as of the time of recording, Bitcoin currently sitting at 93,400, having a nice little day today, and what we talked about yesterday has been confirmed today. We have now a higher low and a higher high, and as well as another higher high. So looking really good in that regard. Again, nothing to write home about. You know, we're not going to do a backflip or anything like that, but it is a indication of the rally continuation, which of course is good. Gold has just been chopping steadily as silver has been ripping. Again, this is early indications of rotation of capital, which is also what we've been looking for. This is the crazy thing. S&P 500, Dow Jones, they are within. Are you ready for this? They are within 1% of an all-time high. 1%. Does it feel like the S&P 500 is within 1% of an all-time high? Because as of October, it crashed 5%. That's a big deal for the S&P 500. That's a very big deal. Also, the really big thing that we've been keeping an eye on, same thing for the Dow Jones, 1% within an all-time high right now. The big thing that we've been keeping an eye on, the Russell. Again, since October, crashed 9% all the way down till November 17th. It is currently within 1% of an all-time high. Now, why am I paying attention to the Russell? This is indication of what? This is an indication of risk on assets. If this gets into all-time high and goes into distribution, this is an indication of risk on assets. What is the most risk on asset in the world? Crypto. In fact, when did this go into, and I've made the case that this April crash is the same violence, the same structure as the C19 crash. Okay, in my opinion, perhaps we're flirting, chopping, just like we were right here, struggling to get an all-time high. It wasn't until after this broke into price discovery and went into distribution, that's when things got crazy. Just like gold is clearly rotating into silver. When the Russell started going into distribution, that was when it was very, very risk on assets. Okay? Very high into the risk on assets. So I'm going to be, locked and loaded on this. If by the grace of God, mamma mia, if this puts in a new all-time high, my oh my, say it in the chat, my oh my, what a day that'll be. They will write songs. Let me turn the music on for YouTube. There we go. My oh me, they will write songs. People are foolishly commenting in my videos talking about, oh, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Like, clearly, for my Bitcoin analysis, I have two scenarios. And no, it's not, oh, it can go up, it can go down. It's both of them are going to 100K. Likely, both of them are going to 107K. But I have a bull case and I have a base case. This is what my base case looks like. This is what my bull case looks like. If the Russell puts in a new all-time high, that's more ammunition for this right here. All right? both my bull case and my base case have us going to $100,000 plus. I've been saying that since 80K. And in the base case, we would likely roll over, put in a new low at 78K, come up, put in another low at 72K, and that's probably the finality. Even in the worst case, 80% of the violency, 80% of the time is probably already done. People, like I said, people get bearish for way too long. That just will happen every single time. Now, just because a little bit of a green day doesn't mean it's off to Neverland or anything like that. However, you don't just fall in a straight line, and people want it so black and white. Of bear market means only red candles straight down, no hope, no nothing, no rally, and bull market means only straight line up, no red, only bears being wrecked, and that's not true. The truth is, it's a lot of gray area, and there's a lot of discretion to be used. On the 3-day, though, we're about to cross the upside for Bitcoin, which is good. On the daily, we got extremely oversold here. Let's go to a better chart. We got extremely oversold here, and we've talked about being at this level of oversold. It's only happened 13 times in Bitcoin's history. Every single time, minimum that I could find was a 20% rally. Minimum. This is all the way back since the creation of Bitcoin. We looked at every single time we got this oversold since 2009, and it was a minimum of a 20% rally. Where does that put us? 100K. Minimum. And I still think, Ethereum along the way, and I'm looking to scalp Ethereum. Had a good day trading today. I'm looking to scalp Ethereum all the way to 3,500. Same thing for Ethereum. Extremely oversold on the daily. Cross the upside. Same thing. So I think that's the one thing that I've been talking about today. We were pretty much battling the 5-hour chart, or the 3-hour 200, and we have broken above it. So in all likelihood, we're going to test the 5-hour immediately, as in the next day or week, which is about 3,300. And then eventually I think we're going to test the 200, which is what we've done every single time we've gotten this oversold with a cross to the upside. The daily 200 is at 3,500. So I'm going to be looking to scalp Ethereum all the way to that point. That's what I'm going to be doing. Now, I will say about Ethereum on the super micro time, it's pretty hot, and it would not be weird at all to do exactly what we just did, which was rally out of here, higher low, rally out of here, and then roll over and put in another higher low. If we were to do that, it could go all the way to 2850, and that would still be the same structure. It could go all the way to 2870 or 2780, excuse me, and that would still be a higher low structure. That's probably the likely outcome. We're getting, like I said, we're getting pretty hot on the 2-hour. We're getting pretty hot on the 1-hour. At least back testing, 3,000, somewhere in there. I think that's probably likely. But it's looking pretty good. This looks like the start of a rally at a minimum. So that's pretty much the update as far as the charts goes. The big thing, fear and greed, probably in the still in the 20s, according to CMC. What is it? According to CMC, 222. So still an extreme fear. The big thing too is we now have an 89. This is 89% as of this morning. Let's see what it is now. So 89% chance there's going to be a 25 basis point cut in 6 days. The Fed has officially done quantitative easing or ended quantitative tightening officially. So that's the big fundamental thing that's at play. I do think we're going to rally into this, and we'll probably rally. The only negative thing that's even looming for crypto right now is MicroStrategy potentially being delisted from the S&P 500, which would be January 15th. So And that could play into the, bull case, bear case. Like, here's how, like, if you want to show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. So here's the bull case. Like, let's play it out. Like, how could it play out? The bull case is like we kind of rally, we get into the 15th, and we kind of stall out there, and then boom, they say, hey, MicroStrategy still is going to be in the S&P 500, and then we just continue to rally from there. That could be evidence slash that could be more data points towards the bull case. And then the bear case could look like this. Like, maybe we rally into the 15th, get to 100K, 107K, and then they say, hey, no, we're getting delisted. It would have an immediate 15% correction, probably another dead cat bounce, and then that would cause fundamental secondary, tertiary things in the market, and then we'd probably find ourselves around 70K. But either way, I think that the worst of it is behind us, and I think that as far as time and violency, it's probably about 80% done, even in the worst case. And even in the worst case, we would have a new all-time high in May of 26. So that's, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. That's what I think it will be. I think we're going to rally into January. And then that would be a good stopping point. Even if we're going to continue, that would be a good, like, stalling out point. It would be January. So it's not going to, and not every single day is going to be green. Not every single hour is going to be green. Not every single minute is going to be green. That's not what I'm saying. But generally, I think the trend is going to be rallying, and then we're going to see, is it going to be a dead cat bounce rally and we're going to roll over, or is it going to be one of the most epic bear traps in history? And like I've talked about, I think one of two things is true. Either this is the shortest bear market in history, or it's going to be one of the most violent, ferocious, ruthless bear traps in history. And that, I don't want to, I didn't want to give that too much mind, to be honest. But the more that time goes on, the more it's like, man, oh me. Like, there's some evidence here. I think that maybe perhaps only delusional bulls believe that. But there's more and more evidence to believe that. So we will see. I'm just going to, let the market come to me and continue to scalp either way, because there's money to be made up. There's money to be made down. Damn, I need to move my stop loss on my trade, but I can't do it. So that's looking good, though. 32.50, I think, is my take profit. Looking pretty good. All right. I think we go up and then crash when Japan hikes rates. Get a lower low. Maybe. When is that supposed to be? What day is that? When are they supposed to hike the rates? Like, what day is that? Ski. Can you look up Chronos? I got you. But ski. Can you look at Dent? I got you. Why the F are people buying silver at all-time highs? Because that's what people do. They love buying all-time highs. That's what they do. They love buying all-time highs. Nothing will fear people out like a new low. Nothing will make people FOMO like a new all-time high. Nothing. It just is what it is. It's like, I don't know why people are that way, but they are. What happened to the bear case? The bear case, I don't think has much validity. It would be that we're going straight to 60K. Basically 65K, but I don't think that there's any evidence to that. Like, we're clearly showing higher highs and higher lows at this point. So I don't think that there's, like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's less and less likely the more time that goes on. December 18th, I believe. Okay, that's a good. Also, like, I'm saying into January. December 18th, that seems like, if we have a violent rally, that seems like a, buy the rumor, sell the news. Damn, ETH is just running, bro. Mile me, mama mia. Oh, I think, okay, anyways. Wouldn't Japan hike already be priced in? Probably, to be honest. I think it's less weight than the United States for sure. And if anything, it's going to force United States hands to offer cheap money to the world. I want to be clear, like, I'm not a macroeconomist. That's not what I do on my channel. I do think, and I know that the United States, what they do is going to be more weight than, you know, what Japan's going to be doing. But I think, if anything, it's probably going to force the United States hand that they're going to, you know, be forced to give cheap money to the world. Right? What do you think of ADA? I like ADA. Headed to 76K. Sure. 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 Trump's tariffs. What's Solnix and Flux next target? I just bought another $60. I'm buying 20% of all that I make into Solnic every single week, every single day, plus $1,000 a month. Solnic actually hit $8.88 on a crazy candle, on a monthly candle, believe it or not. Obviously that's not like, you know, but yeah, let's see. So like I said, like, there is no reason that Solnic, I'm not of the mindset that, like, oh, Solnic needs to be in a, you know, we got to put on the regular candles here. I'm not in the mindset that Solnic needs to be in a bear market because everything else is, because that's not true. Like, we have the supply, and I'm going to continue to buy it and continue to develop it. Caspa did a 20x in the bear market. So did my God, Pepe. So, like, no, like, that's not, you know, people believe that, but that's not how I'm operating. But same thing, 5-hour chart here, higher high, higher low, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The next big thing is taking out the height over here of 006. And that could start the next phase. The bull case, you know, I said about 40 to 50 million if it's a bull trap. And then bear case will probably have a rally, probably to the, you know, $8 million market cap. And then probably roll over and hold this. Like I said, I'm going to be buying every single week, every single day until it makes a new all-time high. Staking is now up. So that has been fixed. The API has been updated. There's 77 million that's been staked. By the way, slowly, surely, exponentially, this keeps being added. You can earn 3% for 90 days, 7% for 180 days, 15% for 365 days, and 30% for 720 days. So that is staking.solniccoin.io. And we're continuing to develop the dApps. The documentary is going to be finished filming in spring of 26. So I'm excited. The Solnic army keeps rolling along. Someone asked me about Flux, I think. VeChain, please. Sup, dog? Someone asked me about Solnic and something else. What was it? Is this the bear case that ChatGPT predicted? Pretty much, bro. Like, it had it right all along. To be honest, it had it right all along. Flux, yeah, Flux was the one. All right. It had it all wrong. Yeah, I don't mind the Flux. It's putting in higher lows here. We need to take out this 30 cents. It's kind of reclaimed this 1010 spring. We need to get about 12 cents to reclaim that fully to say that this is a spring. But yeah, I don't mind this chart. Don't mind it at all. Yeah, I still think, $3.30 is my minimum, and then 5 to 13 is the parabolic. It just is. The question is going to be, how long is it going to take? I don't know. Bitcoin needs to do its thing first. Still, Bitcoin dominance needs to roll over. Still, all that's still true. Bitcoin dominance still looks weak. We could go to 61%, and that'd still be fine. 50 basis cuts would be crazy. Save us, Ski. What's the move? We're going to 76K Bitcoin. That's on the table, bro, but not before 100K. Not before 100K, we're not. 76 is on the table, and I said that at 80K. Like I said, 80K. When was this? This was, like, I have 76 right here in my base case scenario. That's, yes, on the table for sure. 72 I have on the table. Yes. But you have rallies. But at 80K, which was the 20th, record high volume day. That shows you that there's real smoke to the fire that is the rally. Volume is that's a big deal. How about Solnic NFTs? 2 NFTs get you lifetime access to the Telegram. Beard and hair looks good. Don't grow it out, brother. I probably won't grow my hair out. I'll probably grow my beard a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to do like the full Viking beard, but probably a little bit. 66K, maybe. Probably not. Probably don't get below 60. Maybe like on a wick, sure, but we probably don't close too many days below 70K, even in the worst. Someone said to look at Dynex. Like I said, I think most of 80% of it, 80% of the worst of it is behind us, in my opinion. What price and time? Yeah, Dynex has been accumulating. Dynex is, yes, I agree. Having a nice day. We got to reclaim the 200, which is about 4 cents here, but higher low, higher low, higher low. We put in 2 higher highs. Let's see. Can we put in another higher high, which would be, probably 10 cents. But yes, I think so. It's been accumulating quietly. Dent. Very quietly. Very quietly. When was this? 10:10. Kind of filling out that wick. Yeah, that 10:10. We lost all of that. So, we could classify this as a spring, but we got to reclaim this level. We got to reclaim 005. That's sort of the line in the sand to reclaim this, to say that this was a spring. What's your best guess for alt season? Your best case scenario for alt season is the bull case, which was a big bear trap. And what you need to be rooting for that to happen is the Russell to make an all-time high. Which is very close. The Russell makes an all-time high. Bitcoin dominance continues to roll over. Bitcoin takes out 110. That's, bear trap. Are you still bullish? I'm bullish in the micro. Like, I think Bitcoin's going to go to 100K. Even in a bear case, I think Bitcoin goes to 100K and Ethereum goes to 3,500. I said that at 2,800 for Ethereum. I said it at 80K for Bitcoin. So micro bear bullish, medium I am neutral, long enough I'm always bullish on a long enough time horizon. You get me on a long enough time horizon, I'm always bullish. Man, Ethereum looks good. We had a good trading day today. If you're following at home, you could move your stop loss to 31.54. I cannot do that, but you can. Are we a year away from real deal alties? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because, like, what could absolutely be true. So, one of two things is true, right? One of two things is true. One of two things is true. Either the shortest bear market ever or the most violent bear trap ever. And in the most violent bear trap ever, you would say that altcoins were in a prolonged bear market. And that's why they haven't performed super well. So cringe when people predict it. You don't know. Then block me, bro. Block me. Move on. I bet my beard 10 times. I've had to shave it once. 11 times. 10 for 11. So I don't know. I predict some things for sure. Block me and move on. Dog with hat or bonk? I don't have either. Do you think Bitcoin will go down to 40? No. I don't see a scenario that Bitcoin gets below 60. No. I will shave my head if Bitcoin goes to 40. That's not happening. You still holding Flux? I'm still holding Flux. Hi, bro. How are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing fan-freaking-tastic, bro. I heard the beard instantly comes back once Bitcoin hits all-time highs. It's going to be like that SpongeBob when he runs into that biker. He's like, "That's not a mustache. This is a mustache." Poof. That's what it's going to do. That's not an alt season. This is an alt season. Be just like that. Boom. Max take profit. My take profit on my trade right now is 32.50, but I've already taken profit multiple times. My entry is 38 or 30.83. I've taken profit multiple times. I continue to move my stop loss up. But I think it's going to go to 3,500. I'm looking to scalp to 3,500. Is Ethereum going to pull back from here? Yeah, certainly. It's red hot on the short time frames. Yes, it definitely is. It could definitely pull back and put in a higher low. It could go all the way back to 38 or 2,800. And that would still just be a higher low and a higher high. It says, bro, your tree is already chopped down. What tree? Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think generally, like I'm not talking minute by minute, I'm talking day by day, week by week. I think Bitcoin is rallying to 100K and Ethereum is rallying to 3,500. Says, I've been following you since 2021. 2021, most solid crypto guy on YouTube by bar none. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I try to bring as much value as I can to everybody. I get things wrong. I'm accountable when I'm wrong. Will ETH hit 5K in 2026? Certainly. ETH could hit... No, I don't want to say 2025. But yeah, for sure. Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. Ethereum is going to be right behind it. You think the bull run's over? We'll see. If it is, like, we're already deep into it. We're already 80% over the bear market, quote. If that's the case. We need to see consolidation here. Sure. So rally to 100K and then what? Okay, well, I have two scenarios. Either A, we're going to pause out about 103, 107, chop, and it's going to be one of the craziest bear traps in history. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is this is what our bear market looks like, and we're already deep into it. We're going to rally to about 107, 103K, somewhere in there, come down 77, back up to 100, back down to 72, and that's probably it. And then this would have us at a new all-time high by May of 26. My all targets are the same. It's just not the time. The question is when, not if. ADA. My targets are still the same for ADA. Like, I feel fine to round trip ADA. ADA is a solid project. 2468. Those are still my targets. It's just like I'm not focused on ADA right now because right now we need to focus on Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Like Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, maybe Solana, maybe really just Bitcoin, gold, the Russell. That's what we should be focused on. But my targets for ADA are still the same. 2468. $2, $4, $6, $8. Buy today, sell in May. Yeah. You think rejection in 200-day? Yes. Even if we're going to get above it, we'll probably get rejected off of it and put it in a higher low. Even if we're going to break above it, it's going to be resistance. It says January and March have historically been bad crypto months. Yep, that's true. Well, kind of. Not really. A little bit, sure. But November and October have historically been great months. So we'll see. Something clearly is different at play. The problem is everyone is parroting the same drop to 70K. I agree. I agree. Check it out. That's why that's not what's happening first, even if it's going to happen. I agree. And I am paying full weight. Listen, I'm not going to dismiss it. This is my base case. I do think is the higher probability, which would have us to about 72, 74K. My base case, I think it's the higher probability. This is my bull case, and I'm not going to dismiss it. If the Russell breaks to a new all-time high, that has way more weight. That has way more weight. What is the Russell? The Russell signals risk on assets. All-time high right here. Russell Russell 2000 making an all-time high. We are 1% away. Now, let me be clear, right? Because you asked clearly. A new all-time high for the Russell will not look like this right here. It's going to be like full price discovery. You know what I'm saying? And then going into distribution. That's what we need. But we're 1% away from the all-time high right now. 1%. That's it. Do you have any idea for Ondo? I never was a huge believer in Ondo. Have you looked into Helium Mobile? Will there be a flip in Bitcoin dominance? What do you mean by that? It may. New Fed chairman. Yeah, so the rumor is it's going to be the Coinbase guy, which is, that would be crazy. Like, I don't know what would help crypto more than the daggone Coinbase advisor being the new Fed chairman. Like, that seems like it'd be a good thing for crypto. Who knows? Top value right now: Bitcoin, Sol, VeChain, Solnic, Link, HBAR. What about microeconomy? Listen, bro, I don't care about that. That's all I heard about in 2024. And I've said this on my channel. If you follow, listen, if you want to hear about macroeconomic news, I'm not the right channel. I'm not the right channel for you to follow. Because all I heard about over here was recession, recession, recession. That's all I heard about right here at the bottom. That's all I heard about. Japan flipped. They said they were going to cut. Then, I don't know, like, they said they were going to cut rates. Then they raised rates. They changed their mind. That's all I heard about was recession, recession, recession. That's all I heard about. This whole time over here, that's all I heard about. And I've made the point many, many times, but I'll make it one more time. The best bear in history, the most famous bear of all time, is our good buddy Michael Burry. Okay? And he gets all the credit for shorting the top of 2008 because of fundamental problems in the market, right? The only issue was he found a fundamental problem in the market in 2005 and started shorting in 2005 and was absolutely wrecked for 2.5 years before he was actually correct. So macroeconomics are very, very that's very, very lagging. The most lagging. Dude didn't even know who Tom Lee was. That's right. Bro, I don't care about ETH. I care about Bitcoin. I care about Solnic. I don't care about ETH. I don't hold any ETH. I trade ETH. I don't hold ETH. Ondo's not a good bet. Get out. I think it has a lot of inflation. I'm not a fan. Why don't you hold ETH? Because I think that there's better products. I think that there's better risk to reward values. I think that there's better technology. I think ETH is fine to hold. Like, I'm not going to advocate that you don't hold ETH. I think ETH's fine to hold. It's more personal for me. Like, I mined ETH heavily. I was one of the biggest miners in my entire city. I was the biggest miner in my entire city. I mined it heavily, and then they switched, and like I did not feel the bear market at all in 2022 for a second. I was still making like, I don't know, like $2,000-$3,000 a month mining ETH net profit until they switched to proof of stake. And then I sold all my, like, that was it for ETH. That was the end of that. Like, I no longer Like, I don't think that was a good decision. Like, people talk about, and that's just personal. Like, I think it's fine to hold ETH. I think they've made really big strides in their technology. All that's true. And it's true that, like, I'm good on that. People talk about, is it worth it to stake it for like 5%, 7%? It's like, bro, I was making $10,000 a month mining ETH back in 2021. The ROI is not the same, I can tell you. Like, it was way better when it was proof of work. Couldn't tell me nothing, bro. Safest bets are Bitcoin and ETH. The safest bet is Bitcoin. That's it. ETH is not the same as Bitcoin. Nope. It is not. It is not. Like, Ethereum barely made an all-time high. Like, why am I going to get excited about this? No, that's not. ETH is not in the same... do not put Ethereum in the same category as Bitcoin. It's not. Like, this is not the same. Like, you see how these are different? That is not the same. Not the same. This is no different than XRP to me. No different than Solana. Thoughts on VeChain? VeChain is one of the only altcoins I'm accumulating here. Most coins feed Bitcoin. I agree. Listen, I am rooting for Ethereum. I'm in a long on Ethereum right now, right now. And I think Ethereum will lead altcoins for sure. But you want to know why we had a lackluster alt season? Like, here's your answer. Ethereum didn't do nothing. Why? Because they lost half their support. Who was Ethereum's biggest supporters? The miners. Like, I'm just a microcosm. I'm a snapshot of the whole ecosystem. The biggest supporters of Ethereum was the miners. Is ADA good value? I think so. Are we going to leave 94K behind tonight? Maybe. Sui, Ondo, I think are the same. Like, solid projects. They're probably here to stay. Too much inflation for me to be an investor in the projects. I've had that thought since 2024 for both of them. Am I still mining? I'm still mining a little bit. Not as much as I was. People are thinking Sui is the next Solana. At the top, they thought that. No one's saying that now. No one's saying that now. At the top, they definitely were saying that. What's up with Dynex? Dynex is accumulating. Solana the best. I think out of those coins, sure, yeah. Like, I like Solana. Solana's a good value. I worry a bit about Solana because as far as investment right now, but I think technology, I think it's just as good, if not better. It's faster, it's cheaper. You can build on it. You can, if you know C++, if you know Rust, if you know Python, if you know JavaScript, you can code on Solana. That's cool. That's really cool. You know, I think that is really cool. That if you know Python, if you know C++, if you know Rust, if you know any of that, Java, you can make apps on Solana. That's cool. Only reason Solana's the best is people like gambling on meme coins. I just told you why it's the best. None of that was about meme coins. Solana is the best because if you know Rust, you don't have to learn your own code. If you know Rust, you can develop on Solana. If you know C++, you can develop on Solana. If you know Python, you can develop on Solana. That's why it's the best. Like, good luck developing on anything else. You got to learn their own spaghetti code. Could the Fed chairman be a sell the market, sell the news event? It certainly could be. But I think that we're going to rally to it. Certainly could be, but I do think we're going to rally to it. I can see Bitcoin 180 by May of 2026. Very possible. The fractal that I have it has it at what do we have here? If 1010 was the RC19, then it has us 190 by August. I think May would be 140. Let's see what it has it as over here. This would be 150 by June. Ski. See the H bar got an ETF? Yes, sir. It just got approved yesterday. That tells me what I need to know. Not a lot of price action coming out of it, but you know, I would love to see it reclaim the 16-cent level and say that this is a spring. Here till 2030 minimum. I think so. The only thing I know for sure that's here 2030 is Bitcoin, but probably ICP is on that list. Link is in my kid's portfolio. Deshaun Watson has been activated to the practice for Browns. Damn it. Damn it. Kakarot. Yeah. Let me pop in on this 1 minute chart, see how my scalp's looking. What did we get in at? We got in over here. 30, yeah, 31. Well, technically, I got in like here, actually. If we're keeping it a buck, we got in over here. 31.83. That's my entry. All right, let me put this out for the people in the Telegram who is following along with the scalp. Do we have a new stop loss to move? Let's see. Okay, so if we come down and then this rolls back up and we start the next rally, then your new stop loss is 31.55. But 31.80 is crazy. You still bullish on Flux? I'm still bullish on Flux. Teo having his next week. Teo, I feel like, has been one of the ones that's been doing pretty good. By you saying ICP, tell me that you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, bro. Block me and leave. Block me and leave. Bullish on VeChain. VeChain is one of the few altcoins I'm buying here. Do you think HBAR can get to $1 US? Yes. You're always angry, man. I'm not angry. You hear me? Like, I'm the most mellow person ever. That's apathy. You're confusing anger for apathy. I'm telling a potential follower to block me and leave. That's apathy. That's not anger. I do not care. Vanguard is now allowing Bitcoin in their portfolio. That's crazy. Like, that, they're the most crypto conservative ever. That's crazy. There is no one more conservative than Vanguard. I think I read that they had $5 billion of volume their first day. Watching you from Ghana. Keep it up. Thanks, bro. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. All right, guys. It's dinner time. I'll be live about the same time tomorrow. My goal is to be live every day by 5. But my time is really 4:30 Central Time. Okay, so I'll be live every day this week, Monday through Friday. 4:30 is my goal time, but minimum before 5 p.m. Central Time, even if I'm running late. If you're in the Telegram group, the trading session, I'll do a video live stream in there in the morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. if I'm running on time, and if I'm running late, it's going to be about 10:30 to 11:30. And that's literally just, it's not going to be entertaining. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be entertaining. It's just so I can convey information quickly to tell you like what I'm thinking while I'm making the trades and why I'm thinking it. You look good without a beard. Thank you. I appreciate that. But that's going to be it for this time, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Those are scammers. For the love of God, I'm not going to ask you for money. My bills are paid. I'm good, bro. So that's going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless. I'm out.